Well, isn't this interesting? This Last of Us Season 2 has brought so much joy to me. I love covering it. Just because of the salt and the cringe that has come from a lot of these mainstream activist journalists who just push this garbage up like it's some kind of high art. Well, now some of them are changing their mind. The Guardian put this article up. I didn't sign up for a musical. Are the guitar sing-alongs killing The Last of Us? So, in the games, Joel liked to play the guitar. The guitar was kind of a big thing for that game, especially the first one. Had a great soundtrack, too. I really liked the guitar work in it. But this show's singing not so good. So now we've actually got them making fun of it, calling it cringe and almost unbearable. Like, listen to this. And they're also getting frustrated about the pacing of Season 2. Well, the pacing is a problem because they're stretching out Part 2 into 2 seasons, which, I mean, if you were ever going to do that, you should have done that with the first game. But they decided to do that all in one season so that they could get to Neil Druckmann's quote-unquote masterpiece, which is that piece of shit, Part 2. One of the biggest piles of crap that I've ever played. This is my opinion, but a lot of people agree with it. So, again, this might all be a payoff. And I'm just reading the end, going over how frustrated they are. And this is just the tip of it, ladies and gentlemen. Abby, the cults, even the guitars will eventually have satisfying conclusions, but we're talking a long way down the line. This week it was revealed that Season 3 of The Last of Us won't start filming until next year. Given that there's typically been a year and a half gap between filming and broadcast, this means that we're expected to hold all these glimpses and hints in our head until the last half of 2027. The Last of Us 2 episodes left season. One of them will be a standalone story about a character who in the game is only seen in a photograph. There's a good chance this episode will be sweet and moving, but it doesn't offer a lot of hope in terms of plot propulsion. Still left with the sense that The Last of Us has been spinning its wheels since Joel's death. You think so? No shit. And I love how they're bitching about this episode being a filler episode with just a bunch of singing. But now they're like okay with this character that's just a photograph getting a whole episode. Like basically, after Joel died, this season went off the rails just like the game did. Now, this is even better. So Forbes and Paul Tassi decided to put out an article saying The Last of Us has 2 big Ellie problems in Season 2. Whole article basically complaining about Ellie, but also praising Bella Ramsey's performance, who is horribly miscast in this season. They should have age jumped because she still looks like a little kid, but she's supposed to be an adult. They should have changed the character and aged her up. That's just my opinion. It wouldn't have helped the show be more successful, but you wouldn't have had all the cringe that you're getting with this one. But the ending here is fun. Unlike Season 1, the game where she's a kid, something isn't clicking now. But I will admit that perhaps both of these problems are mostly game-based, and the more general audience doesn't care that these are changes from the game because they've never played the game. That's why I think it works for some, but game players are beginning to get more frustrated with these divergences and how this whole thing is playing out. I'm starting to count myself among them as these gaps get wider. Now, some people love all this shit. Obsessed! Trolls came for this Last of Us actor. They just proved them wrong. Now they're getting mad about the memes. But here is the real the real fun part that's coming. Where is Abby? Now, I don't think you're going to see much of Abby this season. It's crazy because Abby killed Joel, and then you never really saw much of her again. Abby will likely be the focus of The Last of Us Season 3. 100% she will be. Just like in the game, it's going to flip perspectives to Abby. And if you think Season 2 had a ratings drop, wait until they switch over to Abby like they did in the games and how much that pissed people off. Remember, Neil Druckmann said we don't use the word fun around here when we made that game. Now, I did when I made my comic book. Me and Dillard Drawls talked about fun first and foremost, fun and action, because that's what we wanted to do with this comic. It's a great comic. We got some really good deals here. We got posters. We got multiple covers that you can buy. We got CGC packs. We got read and collect pack. I mean, there's multiple ways you can jump in on this comic. But, we got shirts too. And a supplemental book for $6. $6 for Tales from the Battlefield. Also, if you want to just jump in, $17 for this beautiful cover right here. $17. We've got other covers, though, and I think they're all bangers. I love every cover for this book. I think they all pop. Got a beautiful painted cover here by Kelsey Shannon. I definitely think it's worth your consideration. Now, here's another fun fact. The Season 2 of The Last of Us, quote-unquote, review bombing, surprisingly overtakes the game's controversial low user score. So we have now come full circle. The show is officially worse than the game. It actually really is. Even the first season, I'm sure some people loved it, but in my opinion, you're way better off just playing the game. There's a lot more cringe in the show. Like that dude, I forget his name, but the guy that Ron Swanson actor, whatever his name is, the Ron Swanson actor, they gave him a whole episode to be gay with his boyfriend. That was not in the game. In fact, you would never even know that dude was gay unless you searched his house and you would have read a letter. But they decided to dedicate a whole episode to it in that show. The first season is fine. I would recommend to stop watching it after you finish the first season, because for me, that's where the story ends. But it's, of course, review bombing. Just like they're trying to say Ironheart haters are racist, even though what's funny is Ryan Coogler, the director of that show, also directed Sinners, which everyone seems to love. I loved Sinners as well. I thought Sinners was a lot of fun. But, all of the racists and sexists, they just skip the good stuff. They decide to give the good shows and movies a pass. It's mysteriously always these shitty shows and movies that are victims of review bombing every single time. It's such a cope at this point. And if you believe this shit that they spew out, you must be a dumb sack of garbage. You must have the IQ of a hammer, which is none. The Last of Us Season 2 faces backlash, leading to low audience scores, surpassing the game's ratings. Season 3 is not expected to start filming until next year, focusing on Abby's perspective. What if they drag this out for another season and we get 4 seasons of this stupid-ass game? Despite criticism, the show remains successful with viewers eager to see the complex lives of all of these characters. Yeah, right. We know for a fact that it dipped on cable. I can't wait to see those numbers for streaming, because I'm hearing that those had a mighty dip as well. But man, oh man, you wait until Season 3 when they flip to Abby. You thought you've seen ratings drop before, brothers and sisters. You ain't seen nothing yet. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. Also, check out my comic. The link is in the description. Also, if you would, please like and subscribe and share the video. Hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
The year is 1945. World War II rages from the halls of Buckingham Palace to the shores of the Nile River. Even now, the clash between freedom and tyranny is about to boil over. Somewhere in North Africa, two American flyboys are soaring high on a reconnaissance mission, searching for clues to a peculiar new obsession with the occult gripping the Nazi high command.